Shut up, fool! Hey, man! This makes sense! Shut up, fool! I don't think anyone's ready for Doug.
You want 20,000 Pine points because of inflation? No, what inflation? There's no inflation. Biden took care of that, right? I'll give you 10,000 Pine points, Guzman. You're a wonderful, kind, gentle, affable young man. You're probably old. You're probably an old fart like me. Josone, 5,000 Pine points to you. You're also a great guy. And Zarafa, are you new here? Welcome if you are. 1,000 Pine points to you. And Matthew Husk, please leave. You're a loser. One thing I just want to say from the outset, that in order to talk to theists, you have to realize I know I say this often, but it's true. They have this need. And the need is for Christians, for example, is to have their sins forgiven. For Muslims, it might be a justification, a foundation for law and order. They got these needs. And if these needs can be met in a different way, then maybe they're more apt to change teams. And I want to play a clip here of Bobby Conway, who reminds me of my cousin, actually, so I like him. I like my cousin, and so therefore I like Bobby Conway. He talks to Alyssa Childers here, and I think he gets into this need. And I've always said that if you want to be an effective, efficient evangelizer, you have to target people who are needy. And I know a lot of Christians get mad at me when I say this, but it's true. Because all I have to do is ask a question like, well, do you need your sins forgiven? Of course, Doug. Well, then you're needy. Right?
Come to a conclusion with, okay, why not be an agnostic then? And I came to the place where I said, well, you know what? Even the agnostic is certain about one thing. He's certain there is an explanation. He just doesn't know it.
I remember watching the 1 Minute Apologist videos back.
I changed my lighting, and I don't like it. Do I look like pale? Do I need more color, or am I okay? I went with like more of a yellow hue instead of white. But now I look pale.
Back when I first discovered apologetics, and they were just so helpful to me. So it's great to get to work with you.
Oh, by the way, it's Theist Thursday, so I better put the link in here, right? And you can call in at any time I actually prefer you call in at any time because my guess is maybe I'll be bored of this. And what you do is you just click on this link. And if you're not smart enough to click on the link, then you do not deserve to come into the show. So I'll pin it there at the top of the live stream chat. That's all you have to do. Doug, you do look a whiter shade of pale. Yeah, no, I look like I'm dead. And Myron put some makeup on me, a little bit of rouge. But I don't have makeup on. This is natural beauty, you know. Okay, let's adjust this. Because as an atheist, I'm very vain. Okay, you tell me when to stop. I'm getting redder. Redder. Should I go? Satan, what do you think of this? You like it, don't you? Yeah, we could be twins. That's too red. Okay, let's back it off. Okay, this is 60%. That's too red. Let's go to 50%. This is 50% color intensity. That's still too red, right? 40? That's pretty good. What if I go to 0? Well, then I'm in black and white, just like my marriage. 40, I think, is good. What do you guys think? 40? Here's 30. What's better? 30? That's 30. And this is 40. I'm going to go with 40. Yeah, 40 is best. Thorum knows his colors and shades.
Now, and we're here live in Cincinnati at the Cross-Examined Instructor Academy. But we were talking one day while we were here, and you mentioned something that I thought was very thought-provoking. And you referred to yourself as a near apostate.
Yeah.
Why do you call yourself that?
Well, I literally questioned whether or not I was going to be able to hold on. I can recall driving in my car one day, and the image of a spider soon.
Okay, I agree. It's too red. I'm going to go to 35. Colors are way more important than what these guys have to say. So, am I blushing, or is it? I don't feel like I'm blushing. Maybe 30. I'm going to stick with 30. I'm going to let it play the video, and we're going to sit on 30 for a little bit. And you guys let me know if 30 is better than 40 or 35.
Soon to be snapped from its web was how I envisioned myself in the faith. I felt like I was hanging by a strand as the undoing of everything that was so dear to me was killing me. And it was literally overwhelming. It would lead me into some really dark.
Hey, thank you, Santa. Santa watches my show regularly from the North Pole. $5. I appreciate it.
Nights. And I would say I just find myself literally as a near apostate because I thought I was going to be an apostate. I was scared.
You know what's funny about this? He's talking about like this existential angst and becoming apostate, and he was scared, and I'm worried about my coloring. See, this is the joy of being an atheist. Like we just like, oh, why, Bobby? Why do you put yourself through this? Just relax. You're gonna live, you're gonna die, and that's that.
And I would pray, God, please don't let that be the case. And the pressure was so overwhelming, Lisa, because here I was pastoring a large church. I had a national platform through 1 Minute Apologists where I was defending the faith.
Wait a minute. He almost let go of Christianity while he was doing 1 Minute Apologist, which is his YouTube channel. I actually liked it because I know you guys are going to laugh at me because I do 3-4 hour streams, but mostly it's because people come in and they talk to me. But I really appreciate the really short videos.
The difference between me and my doubts and maybe progressive Christians is I hated my doubts. I wanted God to resolve my doubts so I can go deeper into him, where I think some people, they want to move beyond God into something else. And that was what was so scary. I felt forsaken, abandoned, let go. And I was wondering where God was. And this went on for a long time in my life.
I wonder why you were wondering where God was for a long time in your life. Do you ever wonder where Alyssa Childers is?
You wrote a book called Doubting Toward God, which I thought was a great way to look at doubt, because in the book you talk about doubt being directional.
Yeah.
You can doubt toward God or away from God. And as I've, of course, wrestled with my own doubts and talked with others and listened to deconstruction stories, it seems like there's a path that people tend to take, one path or the other, and that's either engage with their doubts because they want to believe what's true. And then at some point, though, there are those who, where the intellectual arguments seem to be justification for an unbelief that maybe already is there.
Right.
Maybe they're looking for reasons to exit rather than reasons to on-ramp. So doubt in that.
Thoughts on fine-tuning argument? My only thought is that if God can tune the universe in such a way that life could come in any tuning, then it's not fine-tuned. And if you say God can't do that, then he's not omnipotent. And if you say the universe is fine-tuned for life, well, for 0.001% of the universe, 0.0001% of the universe, what fine-tuning that is. The fine-tuning argument, like most philosophical arguments, is a way for Christians or theists to not feel stupid for what they believe. I'll defend that till my death.
That sense isn't really neutral, is it?
Yeah, I mean, when you are in doubt, I mean, you're in a place where you can't stay there. I mean, you're going to doubt toward faith, or you're going to doubt toward unbelief. And it does bring you to a desperation. And I think if you're a true believer...
He makes it sound so grave, like you're either going to be a Christian or you're going to be an atheist. That's the way it sounds, at least. Why don't you, Bobby, why don't you become a deist? Believe a God started the ball rolling and his foundation gives you some explanation. But why are you doubting in the first place? Maybe he'll say.
In Jesus, that it should wreck you when you're experiencing it. The reason my doubt was so agonizing for me, Lisa, is because my love relationship for Jesus was so powerful. Yeah. I mean, I'm a guy who grew up, never heard the gospel till I was 19 years old. Grew up in California. I was a big partier. I was wondering how to get two questions answered. What do I do with my guilt, and what's the purpose of my life?
What do I do with my guilt, and what's my purpose? Hope, meaning, and purpose. And guilt. Yes, if you want to be an effective evangelist, find people who are feeling really guilty.
And I went and heard this evangelist while I was playing college baseball by the name of Greg Laurie. And I resonated.
Greg Laurie? That name sounds familiar. I'm getting some people who want to come in now. Brandon, no. Jordan, okay. Hey, Jordan. You're going to have to turn off your tab. Jordan, I know who you are here. Did you turn off your tab? Oh, I can't hear you. But I can hear I can hear myself in the background.
1 second.
Oh, no, now I can hear you, but you're very quiet. And why is I tell you, Myron, everything's wrong today. Why did you get those yellow lights? Jordan's going to come back. I like Jordan. Jordan is a friar, right? Friar Tuck? Whatever that means. Oh, my goodness. Everything's screwing up. There we go. See, if I go pink, then but I don't want to be pink. I don't want to be a commie. Now, if I do that and then do this, I gotta go to my chroma key and let's bring this down. Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, come back, Jordan.
with him because he used words like me, dude, cool, bro, stoked. And as I was listening to him talk, I placed my faith in Jesus. But looking back, I kind of just jumped in and I really didn't even know what questions to ask except those two. But there were so many more questions that were going to come my way down the road. But Jesus would end up helping me to enter into sobriety. I would do 400 meetings of sobriety.
How do you know that Jesus helped you into sobriety? Because you got sober? Is that it? Are there people who get sober from being alcoholic without Jesus? How do you know you didn't do it just like them and just say it was Jesus? Simple questions.
In my first year, I would get my life cleaned up. I came alive. And so my relationship with Christ, it was so powerful. All I wanted to do was tell people about Jesus, right? That's how I got into apologetics.
Your relationship with Christ was so powerful. No, the idea in your head was so powerful. Isn't that more likely?
The person who says apologetics isn't important has just revealed how little evangelism they're doing, right? Because that's how I needed apologetics. I was out there sharing my faith with Christ. And so, yes, to enter into that doubt then, it was so literally emotionally agonizing. I mean, to preach by faith, like, God, I am going to walk out here and I want this to be true. It doesn't feel true. And
I want this to be true.
I don't feel like it'd be responsible for me just to step down from my pulpit because I'm in a season of doubts. I know that would come if I walk away from this. But will you please just help me to be faithful? And that's what I see happening in our culture, right? You can doubt one way or the other, but apologetics can help people to doubt toward faith in God.
Yeah, that's good. So tell us a little more about your story. A lot of people may not know how educated you are, right? Because this isn't something you blast out on social media, but you have 2 PhDs.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
Oh,
Well,
really?
I was very uneducated, so some of my academic pursuits.
Make your predictions on what these PhDs are in. I'm going to say his 2 PhDs. One is in music theory, and his second PhD is in theoretical physics. Let's see how close I am.
I was rooted in insecurities, right? So a lot of it was rooted in, hey, I just want to know God and I want to know more. I wish I could say it was all perfectly sanctified, but I was a guy, Elisa, who was so uneducated in high school. I mean, I was a big partier. I was the senior sitting in class with sophomores.
Nathan from Digital Gnosis says, I'm in a season of doubt with my atheism. Well, Nathan, you need to desire for atheism to be true. You need to cry out to the universe for just a little more faith. If you had just a little more faith, Nathan, you could remain an atheist.
If I was in class, because I might have been out in the parking lot rolling a joint to make it through the rest of the day. But I was also this guy that when I became a Christian, I had never read a book except for Judy Blume's Freckle Juice that I could remember.
Really?
And for the longest time, I was calling it...
That's why I like him, because he's never read a book.
Chocolate juice until somebody corrected me on that because I had forgotten about that. I got sent home from school for gluing a book together when I was in about the 5th grade or 6th grade. I failed the ASVAB 3 times out of high school. I wanted to go to the Marine Corps.
Oh, that's a test to go into the Marine Corps?
You needed a 31 on the ASVAB.
As what? ASVAD? I've never heard of that. This is why I like listening to apologetics. You learn something new. ASVAD? ASVAB. If you're nervous about taking the ASVAB, what is that? Is it just for the military? General science, arithmetic, word knowledge. Huh. I'm tempted to take the ASVAB test now.
The first time I took it, I failed. I had to wait 30 days, failed it again. I waited 6 months and I failed it again. The Army would give you...
So what he actually has is not a doctorate in theoretical physics or music theory, but it's a Ministry and apologetics and philosophy of religion. How do you make a living doing that, having those degrees? Like, Bobby Conway, why do you hate money so much?
A pass to get in on a 28. The third time I took it, I got a 27. The third time I took it, I was doing everything I could just to not have drugs in my system when I showed up at MEPS to take the physical. Well,
This is proof positive that you don't have to be smart to have 2 PhDs.
the Army gave me a waiver on my 27 and said, we'll let you in, even though we require a 28. And I went and failed the physical. Well, when I met Heather and I became a Christian, I was coming alive for Jesus.
Is this the PineCreek theorem?
I went and failed the physical. Well, when I met Heather and I became a Christian, I was coming alive for Jesus.
When I met Heather, is that his wife? It must be. He wouldn't talk about another woman. Bobby Conway, wife. She looks like a Heather. Don't you hate it when I'm right?
And I can remember we're young, we're dating, and I did not show up at my interview at Chili's. And the reason is the menu was so long that I was worried that I couldn't pass the test. I was so insecure to go into Chili's and to go back and tell Heather, this girl that I was falling in love with, that I failed the test. So what happened is I started getting educated. I went to Bible college. I was going to lots of meetings.
I started to be educated, went to Bible college. You should have learned how to fix air conditioners, Bobby. You'd have been much better off.
My life cleaned up, sharing the gospel.
Learn how to fix a capacitor.
Fumbling my way through this thing. And I was paying people in Bible college, Elisa.
Actually, capacitors are really hard to fix. I don't even know if you can fix a bad capacitor, can you? Don't you just replace them?
Type my papers because I didn't know how to type. Then between Bible college and seminary, my in-laws got me a laptop. And I taught myself to type. When I showed up at Dallas Theological Seminary, I can remember tipping the laptop down so that
Someone please call in. Please. Pretty please.
the students wouldn't see my fingers as I was typing because I would type so slow compared to everybody that was just crushing it. So I'd be like, God, gee,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
Well, by the end,
Okay, I can't take it anymore. Let me, there was something I wanted to see here. Let's see what MikeWinger's up to nowadays. Come in the room before I go to bed and take a nap. Because I'm 51 years old. I'll do it. You test me. Instead of staying here, I'll take a nap. MikeWinger.
Do you want to learn to think biblically about everything?
Yes.
So you can deal with false teaching. And there
Yes.
really is a lot of false teaching going on nowadays.
Yeah.
Do you want to learn how to prove to other people that Christianity is true?
I do.
Facts, evidence, and logical reasoning.
Oh, wow. This is the channel for me. Oh, yeah. Nobody's in hell right now?
Is hell something that is taking place right now, or is that a future reality after the final judgment? According to the New Testament, it's definitely a future reality. Hell is a future thing. In fact, I would say nobody is in hell at the moment. This gets confusing in our modern translations because sometimes they'll translate different words, Hades and Gehenna. They'll translate these different terms the same way. Hades seems to be a present reality, like a storing location for those who are in judgment, will be judged.
I don't like shorts because they're harder to navigate. You can't fast forward or rewind them. Why we think hell's too much punishment? The room link is not pinned on the screen. Yes, it is. Can someone tell Fluffy that he's wrong? I see it pinned. You guys don't see it pinned? With a name like Fluffy, I mean, you can't trust that. Oh, yeah, I want to see this one.
Forgive me, skeptics who are watching, I'm just trying to be honest here. I find that generally speaking, atheist arguments against Christianity are usually very poor. They're not well thought out, they're not well defended, they're not well explained, and they do tend to focus more on giving an impression that something's wrong with Christianity and then moving quickly to other arguments, but not actually camping out and saying, I'm going to defend this thoroughly. And it's kind of like good answers to tough questions don't matter to some people. They just want to keep trying.
Good answers to tough questions. True or false? Can some people hear an answer and one person say it's a good answer, another person say it's a bad answer? True, right? All the answers MikeWinger gives are good answers. At least 95%, right? Oh.
Trying to give you gotcha questions. You bring up a challenge to Christianity, and when it's answered, you just bring up another challenge. You don't actually process the info.
You know what this reminds me of? When you bring up a good question to Christianity and it's answered, I asked him once, so the God of love wanted to drown babies and make it unpleasant, because he said that part of the reason why God drowned people, not poofed them, is because drowning is unpleasant. So God wanted to make the death of 1-year-olds unpleasant? He didn't answer that question. He just said, why are you attacking me?
And adjust your thinking based upon the reasons that have been brought. Those are some of my concerns. Forgive me, skeptics who are watching, I'm just trying to be honest here. I find that generally speaking, atheist arguments against Christianity are usually very poor. They're not well thought out, they're not well defended, they're not well explained, and they do tend to focus more on giving an impression that something's wrong with Christianity and then moving quickly to other arguments, but not actually camping out and saying, I'm going to defend this thoroughly. And it's kind of like good answers to tough questions don't matter to some people.
What did he say? The atheists tend to, they hear the answer that the Christian gives and then moves on to something else quickly. That reminds me of something. Let's see if I can find it. PineCreek, last word. Yeah. Let's see if he follows his own advice here.
View the flooding as more unpleasant than poofing.
Yes, and I think that's why it was done. My thought, yeah.
You think God purposely wanted it to be unpleasant?
Well, yeah, I don't think he wanted it to be enjoyable. I mean, it was meant to be unpleasant.
Okay, so there's a claim or an opinion that MikeWinger is giving that the flood was meant to be unpleasant. He thinks God wanted the flood purposely to be unpleasant.
Okay, so the God of love wanted 1-year-olds to have an unpleasant death.
See, now, some people might say that's a gotcha question, but it really isn't. If you're saying God flooded the whole earth, which includes women, men, children, toddlers, infants, whole world, except for Noah's family, and he didn't poof him because he wanted it to be unpleasant, then my question is legitimate. So he did want toddlers to die in an unpleasant way? Now, instead of moving on to another thing, Mike, why don't you tackle that question?
This is what you drive to. The thing is, here's what I believe you'll do now. Ignore everything I say. Focus on that one moment where you got your psychological stab, which is ultimately just mockery veiled in myopically distorting the story and then presenting.
How am I distorting the story? I love this video so much. How am I distorting the story by asking him, do you believe God wanted 1-year-olds to have an unpleasant death if flooding was supposed to be unpleasant? He's telling me the story. He's saying that flood happened. He's saying that it was meant to be unpleasant. I'm just regurgitating what he's saying to me and asking a question to verify.
It back to me, your distorted version, as though I can only either accept Doug's distorted version.
What did I distort? So God wanted 1-year-olds to have an unpleasant death. I asked the question. So now, if you're a Christian listening and you're an apologist, here's how you answer it. I should have a school on how to be Top Gun apologist. You know, a school just for the elite apologists. This is how you do it. And Calvinists have mastered this because they got no heart. You say, yeah. God wanted the 1-year-olds to also have an unpleasant death. Deal with it. He's God of the universe. That's how you do it, Mike.
Or reject what I believe as a Christian. You want to whittle Christianity down until it becomes the straw man that you hate, and then give it back to Christians as though I have to accept your straw man or reject it. But
where's the straw man here when I'm, you notice in this clip, and this is not edited. This is like a full run. It's 3 minutes long, a full run, I think, from start to finish. I do not believe I cut anything out here. He's doing 95% of talking, and I just asked the question.
what I'm saying, Doug, is this is just your pejorative Christianity, your version of my faith that isolates truths, blows them out of proportion, and then tries to get Christians to accept them. This distorted version of, so God likes drowning babies. Like, you have to admit this, Mike, or else your Christianity is wrong. You know, like, this is just a trick. It's just a trick. And the worst crime is to you, because
do I think Reverend Zacharias is in hell? No, hell doesn't exist.
that's really how you view Christianity. Like, you really view it this way. And that's not true. And those who are here mocking me in your comment section, and all they can come up with is,
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, here we got a guy. How many subs does he have? He's more concerned about strangers mocking him.
is mockery. Mike's such an idiot. Mike, I don't want you to be believing things that are untrue for wrong reasons. And that's what happens.
What's the why?
Your worldview right now, your worldview is in so much tension, right? You're an atheist.
Remember, he has barely taken a breath. My question was, so God wanted 1-year-olds to have an unpleasant death through drowning. Thanks for the donation, Christopher Chamberlain. No, there's a name. Christopher Chamberlain. 6 syllables. That means you're intelligent. Just tuned in a few weeks ago. I love what I'm seeing here. Oh, you know what? That reminds me. You're like a Inspector Gadget, right? It's like, I like what I'm seeing here. The flying man analogy is amazing to see when used to see where someone's logic breaks down. Cheers. Yes, I do love the flying man. He saved me from my sins.
Yet you believe in morality. You even use morality to attack God. You have no justification for morality. You've admitted that it's purely subjective in your opinion, but then you jump over to my worldview to attack my worldview. Then you
it's called an internal critique.
Retreat to your confused worldview that has just like, what is going on in your worldview? Like, you've got existence without reason, yet you think you have reason somehow. You've got no morality. You have no guilt.
You have existence without reason. You have no morality. This is just from that one question. So God wanted 1-year-olds to have an unpleasant death. This is why MikeWinger doesn't do debates anymore. You got to rein it in, Mike. You got to keep everything under control.
Of sin, because you don't believe in sin, yet you then accuse God of sin, and you use your number one attack on Christianity as morals. Your whole worldview is not a real worldview. It's just a tool.
My worldview is a real worldview. Your worldview is not a real worldview. No.
Tool for attacking what you don't want to believe, which is Christianity. Like, your whole construct of your worldview is like literally designed just to attack my worldview. But
yes, Brian Stevens, 1,000 pine points to you for noticing. And this is why I'm playing the clip, because I just played the short where MikeWinger talks about atheists jumping around from topic to topic. When they hear an answer, they move on to the next thing. This is MikeWinger taking 2 big handfuls of spaghetti and just throwing it all over the place and seeing what sticks. Like, psychologists could do studies on his brain right now. This is classic fight or flee mode.
But it doesn't hold its own.
Okay. I think I'll give you the last word.
Amen.
Oh, okay. You guys know me. I'm not the type of guy who brags. I'm not the type of guy to be conceited. You know that pride is not in my vocabulary. But that was brilliant. Some of you flag-waving phony atheists out there would have been so tempted to interrupt, to saying, what do you mean I don't have morality and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I can explain. I mean, no, you just let apologists like this go. When they're ranting like this, you let them go. Oh, I'm so mad at my mic. Everything's going wrong today. My coloring's off. My mic is off. And see, look at Mike's reaction when I just politely said I'd give him the last word.
Okay. I think I'll give you the last word.
Amen.
Nervous laugh. He was not expecting that. He was expecting having to push back some more. Oh, so much fun. You know, atheists have such a huge advantage over theists because I know this sounds weird, but we got nothing to lose. I mean, we got nothing to defend, really. That's a better way to put it. We got nothing to defend. There's not like, but for guys like MikeWinger, it's like your soul is at stake here. Your eternal damnation or salvation's at stake here. This is very, very important. And a guy like me say, okay, whatever you say. Like, I can say, hey, MikeWinger, stay a Christian. You need it. All the best to you. He can't say that to me. Hey, Doug, stay an atheist. No, you can't say that. What's your worldview, Doug? My worldview is I lean naturalist. But that doesn't mean that's impossible for a God to exist. Can someone tell me, like, look at this. I don't even know if this will work. The room's open, by the way. Can you guys see that? Microphone properties. Look at it. I did not do that. Look at how it's dropping. Why is it doing that? It's dropping. Thank you, Daniel de la Noche. You should have said, so that's a no? Yeah. Have you checked out Francis Donald Calloway? Calloway? Yeah, he sounds familiar. But can someone explain to me why that's dropping? Watch. 1, 2, 3 testing. My name is MikeWinger and I'm fading into oblivion. Can you hear me? No, I'm going farther and farther away. Why is it doing that? Now, I know what some of you are going to say. You're going to say, no, look at this. I do not have any other application controlling it. Yeah, see, look at this. Allow applications to take exclusive control. Maybe I should click it. I'll do the opposite. Apply. Okay, let's see if that worked. %. Is it going to drop now? 90%, 90%, 90%, 90%. Oh, it's not. No, it just dropped to 84, 71. Check the settings for peak limiter. Oh yeah, easy for you to say, Colorado biker. You need to reinstall Linux. Yeah, I hate Windows. No, the problem is I got different applications and they're fighting with each other. XSplit's fighting with Whereby. Whereby's fighting with Chrome. Delete system 32. Oh yeah, why don't I just format my hard drive while I'm at it? Yeah, Chad, Tony, yeah. Control Alt Delete? Is that what? God is telling you to stop. Yeah, God is trying to silence me. This is ridiculous. I constantly have to move it back up. Does the microphone have its own drivers? Yeah, it's a Yeti. This is way more important than Jesus, this microphone. You know why? Because it's real. Disable exclusive mode. There is no... where? Go to sound by hitting the Windows key, then go under recording. Yeah, that's where I am. Then under advanced, uncheck allow. Yes, that's what I had. I unchecked it. I just rechecked it now. But it doesn't make a dent. It doesn't change anything. It still drops. Stupid. Is my computer Windows or PC? I'm running Windows 10. I'm running Windows 10. To me, the only good operating system from Windows was Windows 7 Professional. And Bill Gates. Here's my advice to all people. Don't ever accept updates. Get a system that works and never accept updates. Let's put every computer software programmer out of business. Don't accept updates. Make work projects. Let's update Windows. 2,000 Pine Points to Cisco for making me laugh. Have you tried turning your computer off and on? I'm assuming you're joking, but something is adjusting automatically the mic volume. You have to find which one. Yes, tell me something I don't know. Inosnatikukutuk. Go to Device Manager, uninstall your microphone. Yeah, and then I don't have a microphone. I got to reinstall. You can't do that right now. There's nothing I can do right now, right? I'm tired of fighting. Lord, take me now. Doug, disable automatic volume adjustment. I did! And it's still... The room's open for theists to come in. If you can pray and fix this, I tell you, I might become a Christian. Talk really quietly. If I talk really quietly, does it go down? Hey, you might be onto something. Watch this. Okay, you see this? It's at 80 right now. If I talk really quiet, hey everybody, it's at 80. Will it drop if I keep it quiet? So far, it's so good. Now I'm going to go a little louder, and then it goes down. See that? Let's bring it back up to 80. Keep it really quiet. This is how you talk to apologists and Christians. You cannot spook them. You have to be really quiet like this, because if you talk too loud, they will run away. Don't ever swear either. They'll run away. Don't ever mock, ridicule. They'll run away. You got to keep the theist at 80%. At 80%, they are submissive and willing to listen to you. But if you raise your voice, they get farther and farther away. Okay. Can you guys hear me if I talk? Can you guys hear me if I talk like this? Is this good? Do I want to blow my mic? Hey, if I want to blow my mic, Matthew Simpson, that's my prerogative. It's my mic to blow. See, I can't even raise my voice. Okay, I got an idea. Let's turn this down. I'm going to turn my XSplit mic down to 50% and move this up to 80. Okay, XSplit at 50, this at 80. Hey, so far so good. 1, 2, 3, test. Oh, now it's okay. I think I got it. 79 and holding. Okay. I think my XSplit mic setting was too high, and that's causing my mic to blow. And so XSplit must be telling Windows to bring her down. Even though I told it Windows not to listen to XSplit, it's still, oh, see, now it's down to 73. I tell you, this mic is exactly like talking to theists. You got to be so careful and gentle. No theists want to talk to me? Just speak at a steady volume. Dimitri, you have good advice. My mic is working well. Just speak at a steady volume and you should be fine. Thank you, Demeter. Oh, there was something else I wanted to show you guys. I know, don't groan when I show you. I just want to show you the first 30 seconds of this.
Protestant scholar on, Dr. Gavin Ortlund. He's coming on the channel to discuss this in a little bit of detail here, and it's going to be a pretty fun show today, actually. And before we get started, Gavin, I wanted to actually just kind of update the audience and update you as well, because we could have talked about this before the show started.
Okay, this is Cameron Bertuzzi talking about. No, Nathan, relax. There's something important Cameron says here,
but it just didn't come up. But I was very close to becoming Catholic very recently, and I kind of put the brakes on that just because I think that what I need to do intellectually is just do more work. Like, I haven't even really given orthodoxy the time of day. I haven't even looked into these other types of objections that Protestants give, from like the bodily assumption of Mary.
He's going through all these ideas, feelings, emotions, theology, trying to figure out whether he should become a Roman Catholic or maybe Orthodox. Did you do any of this when you just decided to become a Protestant years ago when you were a kid? No.
Mary. So I just need to do more study on my own. I think that's a much safer way of doing it, even though I feel I get this sort of sensation, or like a feel, or like it's almost like a calling toward the Catholic Church. That's what
a feel. He's got the feels, the calling for the Catholic Church. I've been called to Christianity and I've been chosen. I'm just waiting.
What I've been experiencing lately. But I also realized that can be kind of dangerous to like just go off of feelings and experiences and stuff. And so I'm trying to do my best to be careful here. So I just wanted to give the audience a little bit of an update here.
Yeah. See, here's the issue.
Experiencing lately. But I also realized that can be kind of dangerous to like just go off of feelings and experiences and stuff. And so
isn't that the way most Christians become Christian? Personal experiences, the inner testimony of the Holy Spirit? Dangerous. Can't rely on that. See? Cameron is right. So don't come on here and tell me you're a Christian because of a personal experience and that you felt the comfort of Jesus in your life. Can't go by that. Now I'm too quiet. Is this better? Room's open. Is this better? I'm at 80% on XSplit, 80% on Windows. You want me to go to 100? I'll do it. Here's 100. Is that hot? To trot? Yeah, I already did play with my knobs. Doug, are you backed up? No, I had a good bowel movement this morning. I was a lot quieter than the video. Well, now I'm not though, right? Jordan, where do you go to? You're probably better not coming on, Jordan. I'll just get you in trouble. Hey, thanks for the donation, Bear Marin. Fundraiser for the new mic. There you go. Let's just throw this mic in the garbage. And then I'll buy an expensive mic and then they will have the same problem. That'll be fun. I have a feeling it's not the mic. I have a feeling it's demons inside my hard drive. Demons meaning software. Let's see, who's this? Elijah. Elijah must be Theist. Hi, Elijah.
Hey, buddy. You hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, well, I cannot hear you. So
Really?
I think I might need headphones or something.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, I think I might need to get some. Oof. Bear with me. I gotta go get my headphones.
Elijah Rivera. What are we looking at there? Oh, that's a light. One's incandescent and one's fluorescent. Do you know fluorescent lights can give you headaches?
All right. Let's put them in. All right.
Hey.
You hear me still? Hey, there, I can hear you now.
There we go.
All right. I'm from the Modern Day Debate Discord server, and a member wanted me to ask you a question.
Who did?
Well, not really a member, but I guess she wanted me to come on and give you a challenge real quick.
Okay.
And I guess the challenge would be that knowledge is always taught. And I think this is a stepping stone that atheists need to step over, is to have, like, I guess, a society that is, well, based on the rejection of a deity or principles by a deity. So, it'd be a society that's kind of tribalistic. It would pretty much rationalize ethnostating, right? But I don't think we see that. And there's a good social experiment. I think it's called Kids Alone or Kids Left Alone. They do males, boys, and they do
Elijah, when you
girls.
came on, you said you were going to ask me a question, right?
Right. So I'd say the question would be, do you think all knowledge is, I guess, experience is taught or not?
Is all knowledge taught? Probably that correct answer is no.
You don't think so? How come?
My guess is if I was taking this on a test, that would probably be the correct answer, because whenever you have the word all knowledge, all, and then only one condition to follow it, you're all,
so would you say most?
Yeah, over 51%. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good. Yeah, I guess I'd take that as well. But yeah, I guess that's really the question.
I guess I'm trying to think of an example of knowledge that's not taught. You mean by, when you say taught, you mean by someone else other than yourself, right?
Or experience, right? I'd say most of how we function in society, we need experience. We need like a teacher. You're not born with critical thinking skills or physics knowledge, or it has to be taught in order to really have put value into society. That's how our society is pretty much run.
Did you have another question, or is that it?
I think that was it.
What was the purpose of the question?
I don't know. A member wanted me to come on and I guess challenge you on that. So,
Yeah.
I guess he answered.
This person's probably has 3 credit hours of philosophy.
Oh, okay.
Modern day debate still
All
going
right.
on?
Yeah. You should come through. Try and set up a challenge or something.
Nah. Yeah, I think conversations is better than formal debates.
Yeah, discussions is where it's at. But in history, heart of the discussions in the debate. So,
Are you a Christian?
yeah.
How long have you been a Christian?
2018.
All your life?
So
Oh,
before I was Catholic and
Catholics are Christians.
yeah, well, kind of don't really consider them too Christian, really. They do believe in a lot of the Old Testament laws, but it's not as comparable to really. I'm not like most Christians, I'll tell you that. I like to go to the origin of the Bibles and trace the etymology of the words.
Oh, I thought you were
so
going
it
to say
takes
bar.
a longer time.
I'd like to go to the
it
bar
takes a longer
and
time.
dance.
No, I like to go to the Bible and trace the etymology of the words. So I'm still stuck on Genesis since it's a long track. But Genesis is not what a lot of people think. It's
Okay,
a story.
so you were born
It's
and
not,
raised Catholic, Roman Catholic,
yeah.
and then at 18 you switched to Protestant.
Yeah.
What happened at 18 to change your mind?
I met a friend of mine. His name was Aaron. He's a lifeguard, and I was a lifeguard as well. And I decided, he challenged me. He was like, "Oh, you're Catholic?" I was like, "Yeah, Catholic." Okay, well, what do you think about this? And I was like, "Oh, I guess I have to check that out." So I checked it in the Bible, and some of the Catholicism breaks a lot of the Old Testament commandments. So I was like, "Oh, okay." So
Do you
I
believe
guess
that
Catholicism is not the way.
Do you believe that the Bible is everything is about it has God's stamp of approval, like it is His word, and it was inspired?
It could be, but there's no way to tell. But I'd say evidence points towards a possibility, since, again, the Bible is not as what a lot of people think. It's a collection of stories passed down through lots of generations and their ancestors passing that story down through Mesopotamia. And it's a long process, but there's another explanation for that.
But why would you?
And that's through.
Why do you?
Go ahead.
What reason would you give personally that you think that that a God has anything to do with the Bible?
Because if you apply those morals that supposedly are taught, or the principles that are taught in the Bible, you'd have more success in life. You'd have a better lifestyle.
I understand that answer. Now, if I was to read a book and apply those morals that this book taught, but it's not the Bible, and it worked, and I became very successful, everybody loves
There's some
me.
truth in that.
Like, yeah, but that book could be written by a guy named Myron and not God, right?
Sure, but I'd have to ask, where did Myron learn that from? Who taught Myron this?
Okay, but the point is that you can have a book, and if you apply what the book says, you could become successful. So if that's possible without a God, why do you think a God has anything to do with the Bible?
Well, the Bible also has more influence than Myron, so I'd say there's some objective truth to those principles than Myron's principles. And
how do you know that maybe it does have objective truth, but how do you know it came from God? The Christian God. Let me be more specific.
Well, I'd say it definitely came from a deity or someone that has a higher knowledge. I can't tell you exactly who that is, what God that is, because I don't have a time machine. But
can you give a
I could say
specific
that it definitely
example
came
of
from a
something?
higher being.
Can you give a specific example
Sure.
of something in the Bible that you think would have to come from a deity?
Not stealing, not committing a killing, no murder.
Okay, let's take the stealing one since you said it first.
Sure.
So you're saying that to say to someone else, don't steal, that commandment can only come from a God?
Well, yeah, but my definition for God is just really the higher being, because I can't call one in and say, "Oh, come on in."
I know, but
show yourself. But it's just a higher being. So yeah.
But you're saying that that's an objective truth that could only come from God?
It's points to that, right? I'm not saying that's stamped with approval, but
Okay, it points to it,
that's
but
where the evidence
maybe
points.
humans could
So
make
I'd
that
stick
up on
to
their
that.
own. Humans could make that up on their own.
Well, no, I would disagree there because, back in tribalist times, when you had the tribes branching off from the other larger tribes, they didn't survive so well. A lot of them stole from each other and sold each other in slavery. So, and slavery is stealing. You're stealing someone's choice.
Right. So when you do steal, it doesn't work out so well for the tribe.
Right. Right.
So maybe that would be a reason why someone said, don't steal.
Well, it's possible, but it's taught even as you're right. We have to use modern examples, and you see children stealing, and you say, "Hey, don't do that."
Right.
Why'd you say, "Hey, don't do that"? Because someone taught you to say, "Don't."
Right.
So someone taught you to not do that, and where they learned that from. So it branches.
Right.
And
But
it stems from a root
have
of
nothing to
religion.
do with a
It doesn't
God,
really
right?
stem from a root of like. No, I mean maybe. I don't know. I can't confidently say yes or no.
Okay,
But,
if you can't confidently say yes or no, then I guess we're back to square one. Why do you believe a God has anything to do with the Bible? Because your first answer was that.
It's linked to a higher being. It's not linked to like.
But how do you know it's
specific
linked to a
one.
higher being?
Well, that's how we function in society. We go to our parents as children for help. We learn from them. They teach us, and they get it from their parents. So there has
Can
to
you
be an
repeat my
original
question
teacher.
back to me? What did I just ask you?
Yeah, you said why? Well, what do we? What would you? Why would we need a God for this?
No.
And I said because.
I asked you, how is it
yeah.
linked to a higher being?
How is it linked? Right, because our parents are higher beings. We're children, and we learn from our parents and teachers. Older, we learn it from higher beings. We learn from our intellectual beings. That's where we learn our morals and principles.
My question is, why do you think a God has anything to do with the Bible? I still haven't got an answer out of you that, because you had an answer, but now
is the answer.
we agreed that you can't be
Higher
confident
being.
either way. So why are you confident that a God has anything to do with the Bible? I'm still waiting for an answer I can.
Because evidence points towards a higher being. That's why. That's how we grow up in society.
Okay, Elijah,
we get
you
morals
just
from
said
higher
because
beings.
evidence points to a higher being. Could a higher being exist and have nothing to do with the Bible? Answer?
Maybe.
No, the answer is yes.
It's possible. It's possible, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so now
But,
I'll ask my
it's a
question
long
again.
story.
Why do you think, if there's a higher being, a God, why do you think it has anything to do with the Bible?
Because there's more success rates,
We already talked about that. It's just someone can follow the
it's
precepts.
highly correlated. It's like I couldn't be like, oh, there's no positive correlation here, which implies a causation. Like I'd have to say there is some causation.
Can I help you,
there.
Elijah?
Sure.
This is how you should answer that question. You could choose something like prophecy and say, because the Bible says things that only a God would know. That's one way you could go.
Well, I don't see that relevant towards the question.
If I write on a piece of paper that right, if I ask you to think of a 10-digit number and I write it down and I'm right, I say it out loud and you ask me, Doug, how'd you do that? And I said, a God told me. I don't believe you, Doug. Well, let's do it again. And I do it again. And I do it again.
Sure.
And I do it again. That
So
to me
we
is a type of justification that a God helped me. But what you're telling me is way, way worse than that.
Well, I disagree because you'd see societies that are more successful, and a lot of them are Christian. So there's got to be some positive correlation there, some causation.
So hypothetically, if a false religion was more successful than Christianity, you would then say what?
That religion has more truth than Christianity.
Really?
So that God would have more truth, yes.
So success equals truth?
Yeah. Growth, progression, that's correlated with truth, right? We look for what's true.
No,
in our
some
standard
people can
of
be
living.
successful at stealing and murder.
You could, but you're not going to get far because not
Trump
everybody's going
became
to take
president. He's successful in a lot of ways.
that. Yeah, but he didn't steal or murder. I mean,
that we know of.
That presidency is like.
No, I don't want to go into politics.
Like politics is based off of, I know. Okay.
I don't want to go into politics.
It's a little more complicated than that.
Okay. Yeah. Elijah, I wish you the best, but I mean, you are years behind on this.
I don't think so. I'd say we just should look at our past and see what's working now. Stick with what's working instead of what's not working. That's how marginal utility is what runs our lives.
When you say working, what do you mean by that?
What's best for us? Like marginal utility. That's best for us.
Okay, and how do you figure out what's best for us?
That's how humans function. We
how do you figure out what's best for us?
We have principles. We stick to leaders, right? We find leadership.
Okay.
The Milgram experiment proves that we find leadership. That's just how we function.
Have a good day, Elijah. It's really hard to
All
talk
right.
to you.
I'm
I'm not sure if you don't
understand
understand me, or like my questions have been fairly simple.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was answered. So
Yeah, well, I can try again, but and I'll point out when you're not answering a question, okay?
sure. All righty.
So when I ask you, how do you know when a society is working, what would be some metrics?
Wealth, low crime rates. That's pretty much all you need.
Would you
Because
say
everything
wealth
else
and
we
low?
function-
You said wealth and low crime rates?
Right. Yeah,
Okay,
that's a
stop.
good
Stop there, please.
fundamental.
Please stop there.
Sure.
If I told you that Saudi Arabia has more wealth than the United States per capita and lower crime rates than the United States, are you saying to me that Saudi Arabia is working more better than the United States?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Stop there. And would you say that if their religion is Islam, that Islam is more true than Christianity because the United States is 65% Christian?
Sure. But we'd have to compare that with more data, not just two countries
then
against
why
each other.
in the world are you a Christian and not a Muslim?
Because more countries that are Christian have higher wealth and lower crime on a larger scale.
Really?
More countries comparison. Yeah.
Okay, if
Check it out.
that changes in the future, let's say you're right about that. I don't think you are, but let's say you are.
Okay. Check it out.
If that changes in the future, and let's say Muslim countries become more successful,
Then I'll switch to Muslim.
You'll become a Muslim.
Islam. Yes. Because there's something working in Islam.
What about
Yeah.
Jesus dying for your sins and rising from the dead, and all that just goes away then?
Well, I guess, but I wouldn't see that happening. Like, if you want to have a religion discussion between Christianity and Islam, we could have that. But I'd see Christianity always going to be a good stable.
Oh,
I don't see like Muslim winning over Christianity.
You don't see
And
it.
that's a
But I
lot
just
of
asked you a
dudes,
hypothetical. If it were true that happened, that there'd be
If it
more
were.
wealth and less crime.
Yeah, if it were, I would switch for sure. I would say, okay, so that looks like Islam.
But what would you do for the evidence?
is
Do you
more
believe there's
successful
evidence
than
for the resurrection of
Christianity.
Jesus?
I don't know. I wasn't there at the time. It's possible. I have no idea. I don't have like
What
the
kind of
primary
Christian are
sources
you?
to dig into.
Do you believe Jesus is God?
Maybe son of or very affiliated.
Do you
with.
believe he died and rose from the dead bodily?
I don't know. Maybe that's not really a big foundation for my belief.
What makes you a Christian?
The laws and the fact that Jesus forgave his enemies, like because that's like fundamentally against my philosophy as well. Like I'm not a fan of war.
I forgive
And,
most of my enemies. You should become a PineCreekist.
Yeah, but somebody taught you that. Yeah.
Did somebody teach Jesus?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You're the most weirdest Christian I've met in a long time.
I appreciate it. It's nice.
No, that's not a compliment.
Okay.
I mean, I usually the most...
I'm not there yet. Like I really am not there yet. I'm still in Genesis. I have to go through the etymology there and the sources and the primary sources.
To figure out what?
To figure out the facts behind that statement or the passage. The truth there. I have to figure out if there's any truth there.
You have to figure out if there's any truth in the Bible?
But I'll tell you this, though. Here's one fact. After he died, after Jesus died, he had a huge influence on the world. And there's got to be some fundamental truth to why he was so influential, why that leadership has impacted a lot of people's lives.
There could
But I'm
be...
just not there yet. I'm still in Genesis, so I can't give you that answer.
It could be that the idea of Jesus has had a big impact on the world.
maybe. But I mean, there's definitely some evidence that he was really just a tomb, resting place, right? It's not like he just didn't exist.
Oh yeah, I think he existed, but okay.
Right.
Good luck to. I don't even know why you're bothering reading the Bible. You just wait for which society is more successful and follow that religion.
Well, I'd probably debate whatever religion, since I'm already subscribed to Christianity.
Okay, take care, Elijah.
Take care, man.
Hey, David.
Hey, Doug, how are you doing?
Good, thanks. What's up?
I just wanted to say Elijah is really lost.
Yeah, he is.
He's absolutely lost. What about all the societies that existed before Christianity? Were there no successful societies?
Yeah, I didn't even want to go there.
Yeah, I mean, that guy really needs a lot of help. I mean, he was a Catholic, then became a Christian, but is kind of willing
Yeah,
to
we
give
were
up.
there. We saw it. VJ. VJ, you called the other day. What do you want? You're not a theist.
Nothing. I just wanted to. Sorry for going on and on, but I did want to talk to this guy.
No, go away.
Yeah.
Don't call back, VJ. Treat him mean, keep him keen. I'm not hangry. I'm not pissed. I'm just... I just want Theist to call in. That's all. And then I get 2 atheists calling in. What? Atheist, you're boring. Nobody cares about you. Look in the mirror, say nobody cares about you. You're an atheist. You're the worst people in society. Learn to deal with it. I'm an atheist and I don't even like you. Get this man a Snickers. Hey, I love Snickers. So Christopher, that would be really cool if someone brought me a Snickers right now. Have I ever talked to empathetic atheist conversion to Islam? No. I haven't. I worship Princess Celestia of Ponies. May I call? No, you cannot. But I do appreciate that if you're going to worship a god, make it a princess god. I could never worship a man. A woman, maybe. A princess, yes. PineCreek, I'm an atheist and I don't even like me. Well, the thing is, there is nothing. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to rage quit. I just think, VJ, you're probably a nice guy, but I think you like the sound of your voice too much. And you're not a theist. And the other guy, I got Myron here. I don't need a sidekick to go over what just happened. So don't call in to be my sidekick. Let's see. This better not be an atheist. Jason.
Oh, wow. Hey, I'm in New Zealand. Hi. I'm supposed to be in at work. 5 minutes to say hi. I have been binge watching some of your videos from over the last few years. In the last 2 weeks, I've been watching years of your bits and pieces. And the other night, as I was going to sleep, stuff going on in life, I had a moment that I haven't had in a couple of years, where anxiety come on, and almost like a nostalgia. And I kind of realized that because of the gentle way that you approach these things. So I had been binge watching, and but because you approach things so gently, there was like another part of me that started to listen and really trying to fully understand where my belief is. Anyway, that's where I'm at. So thank you for your gentle approach. It's so opposite to some of the other creators that are online. It's not hard out philosophical. It's persistent, that straight epistemology kind of approach. And yeah, I really appreciate it. So I just wanted to say thank you.
You're still a Christian?
No.
Oh, you're gone. You left.
Yep.
And this just happened?
So this was maybe 2 nights ago. I didn't expect to. I was going to actually email you. I didn't expect to get on to see you live and actually be able to
2 nights
say
ago.
anything. This is just like a really strong emotional reaction. I got the feels as I was kind of going to bed. I even had a moment of, well, if there is something there, speak to me or say something, and then that was enough for me to be able to just drop off. I didn't get any response, obviously, but it was like a deeper, less rational part of my mind.
So you felt this
woken up.
You felt this warm sense of relief. Is that what the emotional thing was?
No, it was more like, what if you've left something behind? What have you lost? What risk? What am I risking? And I think it's some of your videos on where you mentioned carrots and sticks, along with other stuff that's kind of going on in my life.
Well, you got to be careful now, because there's a guy named Jonathan McClatchy who will contact you. He'll find you, and he's going to contact you, and he's going to preach at you for hours on end now.
I was going to be a pastor. I actually trained I'm a counselor, and I trained as a counselor so I could be a good pastor. And by the time I finished, I got a job as a counselor. And then burnt out, and while I was burnt out, I worked in a steel factory and binged debates to make my position stronger. And that's when I realized I didn't have a good position. But that's
Are you
probably
married?
5 years of yes, yep.
Is your wife still Christian?
No. She was nominally. New Zealand doesn't have a very high Christian population. The ones that are quite fundamental.
Were you the fundamentals type?
Oh yeah. I was full on the earth is 6,000 years old, sort of.
See, now this is the PineCreek theorem in reverse. Maybe your wife lured you away from fundamentalism.
I'd say no. I would say that
Come on, admit it. Coitus is better now, right? Is coitus better now?
Yes. Yes, actually.
Told you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that smile. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that smile on his face.
But actually, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of things are better. A lot of things.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, thanks for calling in, Jason, and I wish you the best.
Thanks very much.
Take care. You want better coitus, leave Christianity or Islam. You know, my volume is now holding steady at 88%. Yeah, coitus is always better when God's not watching. Okay, guys, I want to wrap this up. So if you're a theist, call in soon. Japheth, I know you're a theist, but...
Hi.
Are you trying to help me with my mic, or you want to talk about religion?
Religion.
Okay.
You just spoke with Elijah. When I got baptized in 2008, but I have a born again experience in 2014. So when I got baptized the first time, I had somewhat similar motivation with Elijah. Like you follow a religion because that religion
works,
produces the most success.
Yeah. Okay.
In some sense, you think it doesn't make sense?
Well, at some point you got to ask the question, is it really true or not? So you got to define Christianity first. Once you defined it, and most people define it as Jesus being God or something to do with God and died and for the sins of the world and then rose again. If none of that's true, then what really is Christianity? It's basically a community and a few rules and feel-good goods. I mean, what is it really? If that's not true. So you got to ask the question, like, do we have good reason to think any of this is true?
Like God and Elijah, God display.
Yeah,
basically, God want to display is more powerful than the other supposedly deities, right? So if you want to believe in a higher power, that higher power must be the most powerful. I think that is the point of Elijah. But so I had some.
I don't think Elijah was going that far. I don't think he was saying that.
Because he said something to do with more successful.
Yeah, he mentioned wealth and crime, probably health. Like, you can imagine society. You can imagine, like, look at Tom Cruise. He's a Scientologist. He's probably the most successful actor, maybe in history. He's a Scientologist. If we were to take Elijah's philosophy here, we should all become Scientologists. Because
maybe not 1%. I think maybe not selfish motivation. Let's say entire society, almost all the successful societies except Japan are all monotheist.
Well, I don't believe Christianity is monotheist.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, since I'm no longer a Trinitarian, yes, I think there's a valid point. But
so then, if we take Christianity away, then
hold on. Sorry, let me qualify. But at least Christians pretend that the idea of monotheist, you have one absolute truth, even though Trinitarians believe in 3 persons. There is one absolute truth in which everyone obeys to. I think so. Yeah.
What are you trying to say, Japheth?
I was sympathizing with Elijah.
No, don't sympathize with Elijah. He's a confused young lad. He hasn't even read through Genesis yet, and he's going to be in for a surprise.
And I want to inform you, my confidence in Islam has went up. I'm now 75% believe the Quran is true.
Oh my goodness, what's wrong with you?
Anyway, and so even if you become a Muslim,
have you been drinking?
that is still Sorry?
Have you been drinking? Do you smoke drugs?
No.
Are
No,
you
no.
into? Are you into the weed? Are you doing the stogies? No, not the stogies.
No,
the
no, no.
stash. The what have you been taking? This is a
Why?
book made by humans. I understand you don't like the idea of the Trinity, and so that's why you're latching on to Islam, right?
No, I mean, the first 100 years of Islam and the first 100 years of Christianity, because I have problem with the first 100 years of Christianity. I see Peter, Paul being persecuted, but Islam, the first 100 years, they make an empire. So they are.
Oh my goodness!
God's power.
Were you treated poorly as a kid? Why do you have this fascination with power?
No,
Were you picked on as a
hate
kid?
People. I don't hate people.
No. I know. I'm not saying you hit people. I'm saying
I hate. I don't hate people.
I know. No, I understand. You're a very nice guy. I'm sure of it. But did people pick on you when you were a kid?
I have bigger size than my peers.
Okay, so they didn't. So. I'm trying to understand you. Like, why do you have this fascination with? Well, I can sort of understand it. Like, I like war movies just like the next guy, but you view Islam as this powerful empire that's justice and Sharia law and order, and that's why you're going for Islam instead of Christianity now, right?
No. Okay. Even if Islam is true, I believe that the Quran is Islam, so it's without the Hadith. Well, it is a demonstration of God's power that you can defeat two superpower within the 50, 70 years the founding of Muhammad. So there is more than, I believe Muhammad is more successful than Peter and Paul because they conquered.
What about today, though? Do you think
the
Christian nation of the United States could beat all the Muslim countries?
I desire for Christian and Islam to merge into one religion. I think that will be.
No, but answer my question. You said one of the reasons why you think this might be true is because Islam defeated all these empires back a long time ago. But what about today? The state of Arizona could wipe out the Middle East.
Okay.
That's just one state.
So, the Christians.
You should come to Arizona if you want to see power. Come to my town. I'll show you more military aircraft than the Brits even imagined they could build.
The potential of Christianity is unleashed after the Protestant Reformation, right? I mean, before the Protestant Reformation, Europe was poorer than Turkey. So it's after the Protestant Reformation. So you have the sola scripture.
Japheth. Where did your mother and I go wrong with you? You used to be such a nice young boy, and now you're just all about power and empires and taking over the world. I mean, where have we gone wrong with you?
I believe that what Christ wants, what God wants is eventually in the second coming, there will be one world government under Christ. Is Christians and Islam believe in that?
So, there you are with like dictatorships and one world order and my goodness.
Anyway,
what's going to happen to me under your? If you get the government you want, what's going to happen to guys like me? Are you going to kill me?
Re-education camp.
Because I'm an atheist.
Yeah, I mean,
you going to wipe me out?
No. I don't believe it.
Tell me you love me. Do you love me? You're not going to kill me, right?
I show mercy. I mean, I have different love. I love God.
You're going to pardon me?
Mercy.
Do I have to go down on one knee first before you show me mercy?
No. Human can only bow down to God, not to other human.
Okay.
But one more point. I believe for evidence of God among the religions, right? You have to affirm that the Abrahamic religion has the best proof.
The best what?
The best proof. Comparatively
to all the other religions? No.
Abrahamic, Christian, and Islam, Jews.
No, I would not say that.
Why?
I think the evidence for Mormonism is better than the Christianity, Judaism, Islam. There's better evidence for and against. But if you're just talking about evidence for, Mormonism is way better. Where's that guy? What's his name? Nathan, are you here? What's that guy's name? Who's a former Mormon? He'll tell Japheth. We got signed documents saying that they saw the golden plates and that.
It's only 10 or 20 people. How many is that? That's right.
You only got Muhammad in Islam. One person.
Muhammad conquered Persia and Roman Empire within 50 years of the founding.
Yeah,
so
there's your power thing. So whoever has the most power wins, and therefore is more likely to be true. No, the best evidence is in Mormonism.
What power? What Mormon did?
They got no power.
I mean, sorry.
They got no power. But you asked me with best evidence.
It's useless, right? I mean,
it's useless. What if it's true?
Huh?
What if it's true though? Then it's not useless.
I mean, if you believe in God, let's be honest here. The motivation is eternal life and to avoid hell. So it is. I care about. Normal people care about your well-being, right?
Yeah.
So to avoid hell, you as an atheist recognize to burn in hell is not nice for your well-being, right?
Yeah. The more I learn about the hell, the more I don't care about it. I mean, it's just horrible.
Yeah, hell doesn't seem too nice. It's a really good thing that like Mormons have the correct view that God is a merciful God and almost every single person will be saved from hell. Almost everyone. It's just not an issue.
Like your
if
camera.
you want to go and return to the presence of God and become like him, you have to like do stuff. But it's almost impossible to go to hell because God's merciful. And a loving God isn't going to send the majority or even a large percentage of his children to eternal torment. That just doesn't make any sense. And what does it say about those who inherit the earth in Matthew? It says that the meek are going to. This whole idea about power, I mean, even Jesus said, render unto Caesar that which belongs to Caesar. Right? This whole thing about worldly dominion is not a thing that is really preached, at least not in the true faith. This is why we know as Mormons that all of these other religions are just apostasy and have just like become infected by these worldly ideas of conquest and territory. Those are earthly things. God doesn't care about that. God cares about God cares about your soul. God cares about eternity. Life is but a vapor.
Well, let's let Japheth respond to that. And Colleen, I see you there, but give us like 5-10 minutes. Japheth, Justin makes a great point. It's all about meekness. It's not about power. Like Jesus came to reverse that whole idea of the conqueror. He was a servant. Why can't you be like a servant instead of a warrior?
No. Basically, if you submit to God, that we form one government under God, under Christ. There is no war if you submit. So only those who refuse to submit,
Clearly, there is
Joshua,
right? That's just historically not true. And good thing for you, since you're no longer Trinitarian, I see you become a step closer to the truth. Mormonism isn't Trinitarian either. So you're getting closer, Japheth.
No, actually, I am moving away because I want to return to the pure form of monotheism. So that is why. Okay, I am technically an Arian, not a. So I believe in the pre-existence of Jesus Christ.
So do Mormons.
Huh?
So do Mormons.
But Jesus doesn't have the God title. So Jesus is God's, the Father's first creation, but Jesus doesn't have the God title. That is my position.
I mean, that's fine. You can believe that. I'm just with Doug that I don't think you really answered the question about why we're even caring about worldly dominion when that's not. Why would God care about that at all?
Well, because there are a lot of things like you have to care for the poor. I think if you take control of the government, that is the best way to prevent moral degradation, right?
What did Jesus say about mingling religion and government?
It's about paying tax. So the question about paying to Caesar,
what do you think governments do? That's like the foundation of government is collecting tax through force. That's what governments are.
No, the paying to Caesar, what belongs to Caesar is basically encouraging the Christian you still have to pay tax to the secular government, but Christ in his second coming, he will take over. There will be one world government in the second coming, and Christian and Muslim are looking to that. Yeah, and
as long as we bow our knee, Justin, we won't be killed right away.
I mean, being killed right away sounds great. Like if it could be like in the initial volcano exploding or whatever, that sounds good.
I prefer the guillotine, Japheth, if it ever comes up in the discussions.
Firing line is pretty good too.
Yeah. No, I prefer guillotine. But I'll look up and say, "Hey, is this thing safe?"
So you just want the math off of it.
So PineCreek. So you said
there's no reason to believe any of this is true, Japheth.
Come on.
Slap yourself.
The comparative evidence, you believe Mormonism is the best?
Oh, without question, Mormonism has better evidence than any other religion, like compared to the Abrahamic, because those are old. We got like new stuff. We got pictures. We got photographs. All they have
we just found a photograph of Joseph Smith. Produce me a photograph of Muhammad or Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Peter.
Checkmate, Jeff.
I mean, I think I mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again. So 2.2 billion Christians believe in the New Testament. 1.8 billion Muslims believe in the Quran. You know,
this world is a vapor. We are only here because mortality was an important part of our eternal progression. That's literally the only reason.
He likes numbers, Justin. So let's give him some numbers. I bet you anything, Mormonism is bigger today after, 200, 300 years of existence than Christianity was after 200, 300 years. I bet you there's more.
16 million Mormons.
Yes. There's probably was not 16 million Christians in the year 250 AD.
I don't know, but I think Islam expanded very fast in the first 100 years.
So Mormonism is way more powerful.
Besides, what does it say? What does it say about the straight and narrow way to salvation and the wide path to damnation? It says the way is straight and narrow, and there are few of those who will find it. So why are we fixating on these giant numbers of billions when we know that few are those who will find it because the way is straight and narrow?
Okay, perhaps it's saying within the faith itself, the true believers are few, but...
Yeah.
But what?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that what it says both in the Quran and in the New Testament?
What commonality about Quran and New Testament? What is
that it says that few are the true believers.
Narrow is the path.
It says in the Quran, I don't remember which chapter it is, but it talks about how so many people will confess to Allah with their lips or whatever the language is, but in their hearts they're deceivers. It says that's a
narrow is the
really
path
common thing.
to salvation, wide is the gate to destruction. So there's very few Mormons, only 16 million compared to 2.2 billion. So maybe Mormonism is the true faith because it is the more narrow path.
But also in the Old Testament, if you are obedient to God, you will prevail over your opponents. Joshua,
except when you don't.
What about all those Christian martyrs? Did they prevail? No, they were willing to give up their life like Christ gave up his. You got to learn to give up your life, Jeff. Don't take
Peter
lives.
Wasn't obedient enough?
Sorry?
Peter wasn't obedient enough?
I think Muhammad is more successful than Peter.
So, are you saying that Peter wasn't obedient enough? Is that what you're saying?
For Paul, yes. There's 2 times in the New Testament.
I didn't say Paul. I said Peter. Cephas. He was crucified upside down. Was he not obedient enough?
It's possible. He's not obedient enough.
Japheth, I want you to rethink all this stuff. Think about the things Justin has just told you. Think about the reversal of expectations of the Messiah that the Jews thought that Jesus was in the New Testament, and it's exactly opposite of what you're thinking. This conqueror, and Jesus came to give his life, not to take it. Take lives. You need to be more like Jesus.
Besides, we all know that the most important man in all of human history and the most successful conqueror in all of human history was Genghis Khan. So you should just become a Tengrist and worship Genghis Khan.
That religion is gone.
Because narrow is the path and wide is the gate.
Nobody would accept the truth.
He was the most important person.
Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Colleen wants to come in. Thanks for coming in, Justin. Thanks for coming in, Japheth. Don't become a Muslim. Hey, Colleen. What's up with you? You want to talk to me about the creed that I made?
Yeah, the other day you were talking about witnesses.
Yes. Yeah. You got to turn off the other tab and focus on me here and whereby.
Yeah. So turn off the original tab. Colleen, you're old. You know you're old when I call you a boomer. Call back in, Colleen. I got to teach you the truth. Teach you the truth about the Gospels.
Alright, stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to.
I'm going to ruin Colleen's day.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Colleen, do you realize you're not on the air? Here she is. You closed the wrong tab. And now I can't hear you. So, Colleen, there is nobody in the New Testament who says in the first person that they saw the risen Jesus other than Paul, and that was in a vision. No, you're wrong. I can't hear you, by the way. I'm just trying to lip read. Oh, I could hear you before. What did you do differently? Go up to the settings gear box, top right. Make sure that it's set to your mic. Oh, digital gnosis, don't type that type of stuff. That's makes me want to go like this. Are you using a mic? No, just your computer laptop? Try hitting the refresh button, top left. You still have your AOL account there, Colleen? There we go.
All right.
Okay.
Hi, Doug.
Hi. So
Long time no see.
So do you disagree that there are people in the first person who say that they saw the risen Jesus other than Paul?
You're right. You were right, and that was it was interesting to note.
Well, wait a minute. You said I'm right?
I did, Doug.
Now, would you have said I'm right a week ago? I mean,
no. Okay.
Like, did it take you a few moments to process exactly what I was saying and then say, yes, okay, he's right? Or did you immediately say he's right?
No, not immediately.
Right. Now, why not?
You know me. I looked it up, right? So.
You looked it up. How did you look it up? This is interesting. How did you look it up? Did you actually look it up in the Bible or did you Google it or what?
Google. Yeah, Google. I have a fair biblical literacy, so I'm pretty good at searching stuff.
If you had a fair biblical literacy, you would have known this already.
No.
Yes.
I mean.
Yes, this is very basic stuff.
Okay. Well, it's stuff I don't really care that much.
You don't care if you have eyewitness accounts in the first person?
Okay.
I'm really busting you, aren't
Go back.
Okay,
No,
I'll
I
calm
won't.
down. I'll relax. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
I just want to say that in my searching, I came across some information that made sense of it for me, which is we're constantly putting an overlay of our culture on the Bible, and that's where we make a mistake.
No, that's not where we're not making a mistake.
No, we're making a mistake
No.
there because we're not seeing it through a Jewish lens, and we should see that through a Jewish lens.
Oh,
and
no,
through
no.
a Jewish, no, Doug, hold on. Through a Jewish lens, you need two witnesses. And that's why I wrote that little thing about Deuteronomy in the chat box. So that's why when Paul wrote about it, he wrote about two people. Like he said he was there with Peter, the disciple that the Lord favored, or something like that. And he said that's at the end of the Gospel of John.
Paul's not in there.
Sorry, I meant John. John writes about an encounter with the risen Lord, and he says the disciple that the Lord loved said, "It's the Lord."
True or false?
But
it says that in the Gospel of John that John wrote the Gospel of John. True or false?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. When you say John says this, you're guessing, you're assuming, you're just saying. It actually doesn't say that in the text.
No, I'm going with tradition on that.
Right. You're going with tradition that took place centuries later.
Not centuries.
Well, at least 100 years.
You know what? These kind of facts are fascinating to you. Well, I don't know if they're not fascinating to you. They're not of interest to me.
What's fascinating is that most Christians don't know this stuff. Like
I know enough of that kind of basic stuff that you know.
I want to see if you know it. Okay, so you just say true or false. Lean yes, lean no.
Oh, true or false? Okay.
Do we have any eyewitness accounts? A person who write in the first person saying that they saw Jesus Christ in bodily form?
No. Doug did that. No.
Okay.
Not the way that you're needing it to be.
Do any of the gospel authors identify themselves in the first person in the gospels?
Luke does.
No, he doesn't.
He in the first chapter.
He does not.
I made this record for you.
Is the name Luke in the Gospel of Luke?
It is.
It is not.
It is not.
You want to bet money?
It's not. No. I try. You know what? You're good on details, and it. Well, all it does for me is like go, oh, that's a detail I didn't know. But I'm a big picture person, so yeah, I don't care.
Details matter if you want to figure out what it's true.
Yeah, they do matter. I agree. But these kind of okay, faith really trumps all of this.
Don't give me that faith schmaith. What do you mean by faith?
Well, you will know that the doctrine is true when you do it, right? That's what Jesus said in the Gospel of John. Hey, it is the Gospel of John. That's the trick. It's called the Gospel of John.
So
not a trick. It's authorship.
It says Gospel of John. John must have wrote it. I got it. Yeah, okay.
Did you miss that? Oh, come on. Don't tell me you missed that detail.
No,
come
that's
on,
the same
Doug.
thing as saying that the Roman Catholics got their traditions right. That's all you're saying. Eusebius says that, Papias says that, John says that, Matthew says that Jesus said.
Yeah.
And you believe a man rose from the dead based on that.
You think of that as hearsay, but when you look at it through the Jewish lens of writing, of trying to like substantiate all reality with 2 or 3 witnesses, I think that the gospel.
Who are the 2 or 3 witnesses of Jesus' resurrection?
Well, in that instance, at the end of the Gospel of John, it's Peter and John and the
But Peter never says he saw it. Mary never said she saw it. John never said he saw it.
No, not in that first person way, because what I'm saying is the overlay of the Jewish way to think about these things is that John would never assert that on his own. He would only report something like that in the context of 2 or 3 witnesses.
Wasn't Paul a Jew?
I think it stands up to that.
Paul is
scrutiny.
a Jew.
Yes.
And he called himself Paul, a servant of Jesus Christ. Jesus appeared to me in 1 Corinthians 15.
Yes, because there wasn't, even though he was with people, they didn't see what he saw. So he wouldn't.
But everything you just say, Jews wouldn't talk like this. You're basically bashing Paul because Paul talked that way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You got to go back to the drawing board, Colleen. In fact, you need to renounce Christianity today and accept the gift card to Applebee's. You see that other guy from New Zealand? He renounced.
Sorry, I just saw you and I thought, oh, I want to talk to Doug, because I did go away and think about the question and think about that. That's why I really appreciate
why you love me,
Doug. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's a different thing. That's agape.
You got to let me
right?
go, Colleen.
Okay.
I know I'm in your thoughts often, but you got to let me go. I'm a married man.
Actually, I had sort of, I haven't been on for such a long time, but thanks for letting me on. How's your family? How's your family in Canada?
They're fine, thanks.
That's good.
I'm gonna go see
No one
them.
got COVID? Did anybody get COVID?
They're all good. Thanks for asking, Colleen. You take care of
Yeah.
yourself. Was she about to say something bad? There you, Jordan. You're back.
I haven't been on for such a long time.
No, I found it works.
You got to turn off that other tab.
Sorry.
No one got COVID? Did anybody get COVID?
They're all good. Thanks for asking, Colleen. You take
Don't
care
worry,
of
I'll
yourself.
wait.
Was she about to say something bad?
Colleen's a interesting lady. Jordan, you're on.
How are you? How are you, my friend?
Good. What's wrong with your right eye?
Oh, have you not heard? I got hit in the jail.
You got someone punched you in jail?
Yeah.
What'd you say to them? Repent?
I said your mother's a fucking Zoroastrian. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't true. It was very ugly. I'm surprised you can notice because I thought it was very good.
You got to turn off the other tab though, Jordan. Like you got a tab on of watching me on YouTube.
Sorry. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think you got it now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, God, it's awful, my friend. I thought it was awful. You know me. I mean, well, you don't know me, but I think we're very similar. I think you would have done exactly right. My favorite thing about you, Doug, is you've done exactly what I would have done. I was standing in this situation, and someone said, "Da da 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 da." I'm going to do this, and I said, "Well, you can't, and I'm not going to let you do that." And he said, "Get out of my way, or else." And I said, "You can say that, but you're not going to hit him while I'm here." And that's what happened.
Was it okay? This is a career criminal you were talking to?
Of course, they're all career criminals.
Well, what were you thinking? Do you have a black belt in jiu-jitsu or something, and you just didn't see it coming, or what?
No, I looked at him and I said, "What are you going to do? Give me a black eye? You can fuck off." I mean, we're not talking about, it's not Bruce Lee level, you know.
I know, but still, did you think for 1 second that he would take your words to heart?
I knew that I had to stop him hitting the person behind me. I knew that was true.
Oh.
I knew that was not because the story.
Was
I
the
didn't
guy
tell-
behind you smaller or bigger than you?
No, it's not that. That's not necessarily true. It's that he couldn't have been hit. That would not have been appropriate.
Okay, well, you took one for the team, I guess. Are you on pain meds for it or what?
No. I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine.
Because you seem a little loopy to me.
I have cocodamol.
What's
I've
Codamol
got
you're on?
Sorry?
You're on a pill right now?
Yeah. So I've got cocodamol, so I'm a bit more,
Oh,
but otherwise I'm
you
perfectly happy.
as a theist, you shouldn't come on my show under the influence.
As an atheist, you shouldn't have influence on your show.
You're gonna get yourself in trouble.
Oh, please! I trust you very well.
Well, I think you're an atheist, actually.
Yes, you said that last time. I thought about that a lot, and I thought that was very unfortunate.
Why? Why is that unfortunate?
Because I thought we could have much more fun with people who didn't know.
Oh. Well, but I'm an honest guy. Like, I don't like. I like to have my cards on the table.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But.
So who was that lady you were just talking to? Who was that lady?
Oh, that was my first girlfriend in high school. No, I'm
I never knew you were in. I never knew you were in Back to the Future.
That's Colleen. She just learned for the first time that there were no eyewitnesses to Jesus' resurrection other than Paul, but that was a vision. So it's interesting.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. That was one of the many things I wanted to talk to you about. When you look at, as far as I can see, you look at the corner. I don't know if you're looking at something on your computer that you've got to say that more people are going to come in, or.
Oh yeah, I can see that. No, but right now it's just me and you.
Okay. So I wasn't sure if you were looking at other people. I thought it was very interesting, that thing about the envelope.
Ah, yes. For those of you who don't know, like I was on Nathan's channel and I asked Jordan here if in the envelope it had the truth in it, nothing but the truth that says either a God exists or no God exists, right? And then what did I ask you? Do you remember?
You said, what would you do if you had to choose between killing Nathan, or rather, excuse me.
Oh, yes.
You have to make a choice. Nathan will die if you're wrong about the contents of the envelope.
Right. So I basically was asking you to make a wager.
Yeah.
Whether or not there is a God, and we could find out.
I thought that was a precisely interesting topic to talk about, because I think we both agree about the so-called substance of hell. I think that's irrelevant, but I thought that was a wonderful little bit of the possibility of human experience, is to say, imagine you were in that instance. Imagine you were so your thought experiment is, imagine you're in this instance where someone has the absolute answer to your question. Okay. And you might be right or you might be wrong. What will you do? And insofar as your question works, it's based on hopeful answer. I hope there is no hell. I hope Nathan doesn't die. And so I say, there is no hell. That would be different as if I were in the instance, right?
I'm not tracking you, but the whole purpose of that was almost to set up a probabilistic spectrum of how confident you are of a God existing or not. If you're over 51% a theist. Yeah. But
yeah,
even then, like,
but you would admit, right, that the human being who was sitting in front of a person with a gun and an envelope, right, who is told you've got two options or three options. I'm going to kill, indeed, you've got two options. I'm going to kill this guy, or you're going to get the right envelope, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, if you're wrong, I'm going to kill.
You're
Nathan
going to
gets
kill
it.
me,
Yeah.
And so you're a psychological human being facing that situation. And what are you going to do? You're going to say, I'm going to hope for the best.
Well, no,
What is the best?
No, what it's doing is it's basically.
No, you misunderstand. I'm not critiquing the logical part. I'm talking about an actual human being in that situation.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant.
No, it isn't. That's all that matters, because that's all there is, right? That's all there is.
Well, not in the context of the question. It isn't. It's basically what's relevant here.
I understand the question.
Is the psychology of your confidence.
I think the question is. I think the question is very good. I think the question is exactly right, and that's the point which I think you don't fully appreciate. Is the question is fundamentally, what are you willing to sacrifice? And that's what you.
No, it's not about sacrificing. It's just if you're wrong, Nathan gets it. So don't be wrong. What's your best bet? Jordan, I like you, but you're not 100% right now. Don't call in when you're under the influence of narcotics. I mean, come on. Listen back. You're slurring your words. I'll tell you, I mean, Jesus is my savior. God is real. Okay. This has been interesting. And in Jordan's defense, he got hit in the face today, or yesterday. Jordan is getting into Eastern philosophy. Yeah, and that's part of the reason why No, Jordan, go away. Bread of Life is streaming soon. How confident are you that God doesn't exist? Any God that's falsifiable, 99.999. If Chris Angel called in right now and prayed and your napkin lit on fire, what would you think? Well, that's an interesting question. It would still be even the fact that he's a magician. He couldn't get by my dog to plant stuff. My dog doesn't care about magicians. No, I would say, Chris Angel, can I see your legs for bite marks? Nice shirt, Doug. Well, thank you. It's, I think it's burgundy.
You can't help but smile like a little bitch.